All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. The nation of Israel are so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Native American, and Seminole Indian descent. And of course, you're going to have Israelites that look like this man on the screen. All right. Israelites will look like all nations. All right. But it's a spiritual thing. Only the elect of the nation of Israel will understand. All right. So this is dealing with the Passover, because we know that the Passover is coming over starting Friday night, going into Saturday. All right. Because, when you go to the book of Genesis, all right, it talks about the days, all right, when it's time for a day to come in, all right, and it states that the evening and the morning were the first day. So when the sun is going down, all right, that you're going into a new day. When the sun comes up, it's the same day. It's not 12 o'clock. All right, it's not when the sun goes down. You know, you know what I'm saying. All right. So the evening and the morning. Let me get that. Salakia. All right. So Genesis 1:5, it says, "And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day." All right. Genesis 1:8, and God, I'm just saying the verbatim, all right, in the Most High, or the powers, the Allahayim, the word Allahayim, all right, in the Greek is God, all right, it means it means power, all right, Allah. So you get Allah from. It just means power. All right. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. So Friday, all right, starting in the evening, that's the beginning of the Passover. It's not, Saturday night, so to speak, and that's the Passover. No. All right. So anyway, I want to play a little bit of this video. Get straight to the point. It's not going to be a 30-minute long video. All right. So it'll be just straight to the point. Basically, going into these heathens, how they took and stole our customs and heritage. All right. So let's get this video going.
Which Jews commemorate the bondage of the ancient Israelites to Egypt. God sends a series of 10 plagues in the Bible that are intended to free the ancient Israelites. The final plague being the killing of the firstborn among the Egyptians. The ancient Israelites mark their doorposts with blood, so God knows to pass over those homes. And that allows for the ancient Israelites to gain their liberation from Egypt. The Passover Seder is the meal through which Jews commemorate the events of the Exodus. There are typically 2 Seders on the first 2 nights of Passover, which last 7 or 8 days. And the participants...
It's 7 days. It's not 8. All right. In the scriptures, it says 7 days. All right.
In the Seder, read a book called the Haggadah, which reenacts the events of the Exodus and which sets the course for the meal. If there's one food associated with Passover, it's matzah, or unleavened bread. It tastes like a plain, dry cracker. And it's a reminder that for the ancient Hebrews, there wasn't time to let their bread rise as they were trying to leave Egypt. So the centerpiece of the Seder table is the Seder Plate. and it's adorned with different foods that are representative of the Exodus experience. The bitter herbs, which is typically represented by horseradish, evocative of the bitterness of slavery. You have a nut or apple-based mixture called karoset, which is supposed to represent the mortar that the enslaved Israelites used to make bricks for Pharaoh.
All right, so I'm gonna quit it right there. All right, so the question is when were this people, Salaki? When were his people? All right, when were they in slavery? All right, and is that Barack Obama? Salaki. Uh, they got heathens that they pass over, and they're heathens. It's a bunch of confusion. So the question is Salaki, I look at the time. When were they in Egypt? All right. So before we get into that, all right, I love to go into this. This is from the Compact Zondervan Bible Dictionary. All right, we didn't write this dictionary. All right, it says descendants of Ham. All right, the descendants of Ham, as you see, Ham, the youngest son of Noah, the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. All right, so the Egyptians stem from Ham, all right, or Mizraim. The real name of Egypt was Mizraim. Egypt means bondage. So, with me bringing that out, all right, when were his people? When were this people, Salakia? When were they in bondage? When were this people? Where's the evidence? Where's the proof? All right. So as you see, look at how dark these so-called slaves are. Now I said that the Lord had put a difference between the Egyptians. Where is that at? Let me go back. The Lord put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. All right. This is Exodus 11:3. 11:7. Salakia. Exodus 11:7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye or you, right, that you may know how the Yahweh do put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. So, Salakia, the Lord had put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. Look at that. All right. You got the so-called Egyptians right here, right? One's on his knee, the other one, he got his hand on the back of the Israelite, and he has that whip in his hand, right? So the Lord had put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. And whoever wrote the Compact Zondervan Bible Dictionary, they know that too. Because right here, it says the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. So if they're not the so-called Africans, who are the Negroes, right? They know that there's a difference between the so-called Negroes, the Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. We all look alike, but that's the difference. All right. The Israelites look similar to the Hamites, the dark skin. All right. Now, I'm losing my train of thought. Salakia. Let me go to Salakia. Let me go to Habakkuk. I'm not Habakkuk, Micah 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. So who are the main ones that are oppressed till this day? The so-called Black, Latino, Native American man. All right, Hispanic man, the Israelites, the Northern and Southern Kingdom. All right, now At the beginning of that video, he stated how at first he said the Jews in Egypt. Then he says the Israelites. So to make this clear, all right, it wasn't just the tribe of Judah, which consisted of Benjamin and Levi in the land of Egypt during the Passover. They know that. All right, but guess what? They're over there in the Holy Land claiming to be the southern kingdom, right? Well, where's the rest of the other tribes? You can't have a Passover without the other tribes. All right, so this is let me go. This is Exodus. All right. Actually, let me go to something else. Salakia. Salakia. Let me go to damn, I thought I had it. All right, so this is Second Chronicles, right? Second Chronicles 35. Yeah, Salakia. This is Second Ezra's. I mean, not Second Ezra's. Second Chronicles 35. And I started verse 16. It says, so all the service of the Yahweh was prepared the same day to keep the Passover and to offer burnt offerings upon the altar of the Yahweh, according to the commandment of King Josiah. And the children of Israel, the northern kingdom, that were present kept the Passover at that time. All right, it said, let me go right back. Let me go back. So right here in Second Chronicles 35 and 17, it says, and the children of Israel that were present kept the Passover at that time. Now the children of Israel is going into the northern kingdom. All right. When you read actually let me see. Salakia. Yeah, so when you read 2 Kings, the 17th chapter, you see that the Lord had rent the kingdom of he split the kingdom. It was a war between Jeroboam and Rehoboam, right? So many of the northern kingdom had went into the Assyrian captivity. And a large amount of them in the Apocrypha had went over here to what's called Azareth, which means another land. They left the Assyrian captivity. That's where you get the whole story about the 10 lost tribes. But guess what? You still have members of the northern kingdom, which is the kingdom of Israel, all right? That did keep the Passover and that mingled amongst the southern kingdom, all right? And yes, all tribes were dark skinned. So they could easily blend in with Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Many other so-called Latinos, Native Americans, Mexicans, Hispanics, all right? Yes, they were dark-skinned like Negroes as well. All right, so 2 Chronicles 35 and 17, the children of Israel that were present kept the Passover at that time and the feast of unleavened bread 7 days. And there was no Passover like that kept in Israel from the days of Samuel the prophet. Neither did all the kings of Israel keep such a Passover as Josiah kept, because they didn't want to come down to Jerusalem and worship, when they were in the land. You had to go into the war between Jeroboam and Rehoboam. All right. Salakia, verse 18, 2 Chronicles 35 and 18, and there was no Passover like Salakia, and there was no Passover like to keep that Salakia, and there was no Passover like to that kept in Israel from the days of Samuel the prophet. Neither did all the kings of Israel keep such a Passover as Josiah kept. And the priests and the Levites and all Judah and Israel were present, right? So right here, all the tribes, all 12 tribes are present, all right, and they're keeping the Passover. So who are y'all? So like it, I know it didn't just really, all right. So who? Salakia, man, it kind of ticked me off. But yeah, who are they? You know, where's the other tribes, right? Because all 12 tribes were delivered out of Egypt. So uh anyway, Second Chronicles 35:18, starting from the bottom, all right. Uh Salakia, and the priests and the Levites and all Judah and Israel that were present, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. All right, and that's just the main point that I want to make on uh on that. All the tribes were together at that time. All right. Let me go to Psalm 50, right? Because the heathen, they have taken our statutes, our covenants, our customs, our heritage, right? Let me go to, this is Psalm 50:16. But unto the wicked, when you go into the wicked, you go to Malachi. All right, it says that Esau, Edom, is the border of wickedness, and the other nations. All right, but unto the wicked, the Most High said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? So who did Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh shall make a covenant with? The Israelites. All right, the Israelites are not in the land. Some of them are Israelites over there in the land of Israel. Some, but are they calling upon Yahweh? Why Yahweh shall? No. Are they following laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of their ability? No. And you can look at the proud parade. I don't want to say too much in depth on that because I get a strike. But look at what's going on in the land of Israel, wars and so forth, right? So the heathen have taken the Lord's covenant, right, and put it upon themselves, the law, statutes, and commandments. So they're going to be judged for that, all right? It was one more I wanted to get. Salakia. Actually, I'll go back to this. Actually, it's in Ezra, because the heathen always wanted to be a part of what we have, all right? So this is Ezra, chapter 4, all right? So it says, now when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin, the Benjaminites are the Jamaicans, all right? Now when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity builded the temple unto the Yahweh power of Israel, then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers and said unto them, let us build, Salakia, let us build with you, for we seek your power as ye do, and we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Esarhaddon, king of Assur, which brought us up hither. But Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, ye have nothing to do with us to build an house unto our power, but we are ourselves together will build unto the Lord, Salakia, will build unto the Yahweh power of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, have commanded us. Then the people of the land Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in building, and hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose all the days of Cyrus, king of Persia, even until the reign of Darius, king of Persia. So back then, they wanted to build and worship, you know, along with us. You know, they wanted to build the temple and so forth. But you know, you have nothing to do with our covenant, our customs, like how they're sitting here reading, right? And they got their heads covered. But in the Torah, you know, it says that, you know, you ain't supposed to have your head covered up while you teaching. You know, you teaching about the Lord and so forth. You ain't supposed to have your head covered up. Only the women, you know. So, you know, these heathen, they have a lot to pay for, you know, and they call themselves celebrating the Passover, not understanding that Yahweh Shai was the one. He's that sacrificial lamb. They don't even believe in the Lord, so that's cut, you know. So with that, I'm saying all praises unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.